bring on Rolly. You know, he's part of PBC. We already ran it once with PBC. I need to get my get back. So I'm gonna beat Rolly, and we're gonna have that. I just pray to God. Pray to God.
Last question. Final message to Ryan Garcia before y'all fight.
No Vaseline.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero are both victims of Gervonta Davis, and now it feels like a contest between them to prove who the better fighter is. However, there's something different about the revived Ryan Garcia, and it's not just his size. He looks more than ready to bounce back from whatever happened to him after his fight against Haney.
Trying to see where he was guiding me, and it just led me to Dallas, led me to Derek, and I pursued it, and I'm here now, and I feel good. I feel, you know.
He looks filled with fury, ready to unleash everything he's swallowed over the past year. Ryan Garcia seems determined to prove a point to the boxing world once again. Sadly, he had already done that last year, only to have his victory overturned. This time, he has promised Rolando Romero a knockout, a brutal one. On the other hand, Romero has yet to justify the world title he took from Ismael Barroso. His win over Barroso was widely criticized as a robbery, marred by a controversial referee stoppage. And when he finally had the chance to defend his title, he lost it immediately, suffering a knockout defeat at the hands of Isaac Cruz. There seems to be a curse on that belt, with its most recent holders losing it in their first defense. Isaac Cruz lost it to Rayo Valenzuela, and the Mexican fighter then lost it to Gary Antoine Russell. While there's no belt on the line this time between Rolando Romero and Ryan Garcia, the fight carries a deep-rooted rivalry and years of bad blood. Garcia is set to face Romero in a blockbuster showdown on May 2nd. Turki Alalshik recently announced a stacked card for the event, featuring Haney versus Jose Ramirez and Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barbosa. The event will take place at Times Square in New York City, with a massive two-city press tour kicking off on March 4th in New York. Ahead of the fight, Garcia has already fired a warning shot at Romero.
It's like his family, like it's a bond. So I'm hungry, man. That's why I'm here every day training. I didn't even know this was happening, but I came to train with Derek. And like I said, it's a blessing. Happy to be
Rolly, I'm letting you know through this tweet, and I hope you truly understand I'm not taking you lightly at all. I'm coming in with some real anger, and I'm sorry, but it has to be you. You can talk all the funny nonsense you want on Tuesday, but if you cross the line, I swear I'll slap the hell out of you. He continued, "You're here to be funny, that's it. Comedy is what got you here, so don't change course now. Grandpa had you fighting for your life, and Pitbull had you looking for Easter eggs in the ring. I'll be the one to make you lay your gloves down like an MMA fighter retiring."
It's like his family, like it's a bond. So I'm hungry, man. That's why I'm here every day training. I didn't even know this was happening, but I came to train with Derek. And like I said, it's a blessing. Happy to
Ryan Garcia faced Haney in April 2024, scoring 3 knockdowns on his way to a decision victory. However, after testing positive for Ostarine, the result was later overturned to a no contest. He was handed a 1-year suspension, which officially ends on April 20th. Rolando Romero claimed that talks about a fight between him and Garcia have been going on for 8 years. Now, with the fight finally set, both have embraced it with the kind of intensity fans were expecting.
Last question. Final message to Ryan Garcia before y'all fight.
No Vaseline.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Rolando Romero initiated the back and forth, and as expected, Ryan Garcia has taken it even further. Romero is a fearless, aggressive fighter who brings serious power against anyone he faces. His fighting style has won over many boxing fans in recent years, but he's about to face a tough challenge against boxing star Ryan Garcia. Speaking to Fight Hype, Romero said, "With Ryan? Yeah, man, it's long overdue. For sure, for sure. Honestly, it kind of came out of nowhere."
I'm asking you about this, right? We sparred in 2013, March 2013, right?
One day, Ryan's walking around talking about fighting Isaac Cruz, and the next, I wake up, and it's Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero. I guess Ryan didn't really know what was going on, Romero said. Both fighters are fierce competitors and will be gunning for each other in the lead-up to this fight. Neither of them is an introvert, so expect them to promote the hell out of this matchup. The mind games are about to begin, and the action inside the ring should be just as thrilling. People tend to forget that Garcia is coming off a long layoff due to his suspension. He'll need to take this fight seriously and put on an impressive performance, otherwise, he risks getting caught slipping. Romero is no pushover. Both men know each other well, and that familiarity will only add to the intensity of this showdown.
At the time, he's 4 years older than me, right? So that means he's 21, I was 17, right? He going hard on me, right? After I stopped his little brother, right? To claim that—
The trash talk has already begun. Garcia took to X saying, "Not surprised at Pitbull pulling out, but we get to fight some dog food in Raleigh." Expect this back and forth to get even more heated as fight night approaches. Both are young, outspoken American fighters who won't hold back in the build-up. As for the fight itself, it promises to be an exciting showdown. Speed and power will be on full display. Romero is almost always in action-packed fights, and the same goes for Garcia. Their contrasting styles could make for an explosive clash inside the ring.
Yeah. So you Pitbull in New York, Times Square.
Yeah, Times Square, yes.
Nice, man. What, I guess curious, how does the fight go in your opinion? I know you guys have been circling each other.
Ryan Garcia kicked off the war of words by initially stating that he would fight Isaac Cruz in May after his boxing suspension ends. However, before he can think about Cruz, he must first handle business against Rolando Romero. Garcia cannot afford to overlook Romero, who has only 2 career losses. The first came against Gervonta Tank Davis, who also knocked out Garcia, and the second was against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, a defeat that significantly impacted the trajectory of Romero's career.
Are you gonna walk around the whole fucking shit?
I know. But yeah, I mean, this is a fight that I feel like the fans wanted for a long time until he lost. So
Garcia knows he's in for a tough fight, as Rolando Romero is also known for his knockout power. However, unlike Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Romero doesn't have the same level of chin and durability traits that earned Cruz comparisons to Mike Tyson. That said, Garcia will be eager to remind fans that he too is a knockout artist, armed with his devastating left hook. If Romero comes in overly aggressive, looking for the knockout, he could give Garcia an even bigger target to exploit. This fight also serves as crucial preparation for Garcia, especially if a rematch with Devin Haney is in his future. It will help shake off any ring rust he may have developed during his suspension.
Got a lot of things ahead, but fight-wise, I either want to fight the 154-pound champion, Sebastian Fundora, or I want to fight Isaac Cruz.
In May, I either want to fight the 154-pound champion, Sebastian Fundora, or I want to fight Isaac Cruz. We're going to be fighting there. It'll be another big fight, and I'm ready to do it, Garcia said. He also acknowledged Romero's value as a fighter, saying, "Rolly is still a great fighter. He may have lost, but the fans love him. He's a big dude. There were so many people in London, and they were all meeting with Turkey T's nuts." On the long-awaited showdown, Garcia added, "Times Square, yeah. Me and Rolly were supposed to fight so many times, but it never happened. I feel like this is a fight fans have wanted for a long time, even before Rolly lost to Pitbull Cruz last year. But that loss shouldn't change anything. He's still an explosive fighter. Cruz fought a great fight, so you can't take anything away from him either."
fight, so you can't really take anything away from him either. This should be a great fight still.
What happens if he doesn't win this fight? Does it like take it out of play, or he's still gonna fight you?
I mean,
On the possibility of a rematch with Rolando Romero, Garcia said, "When I win against Rolly, I'll fight him again, beat him again, and finally put that to rest. Then I'll move on with my career, maybe even fight Teofimo. That's how it's going to go. I'm fighting everybody, bro. Whoever I want to fight, I'm fighting." When asked about the weight for the Romero fight, Garcia replied, "It'll be at 144. I mean, he's not a small man. I'm trying to give him something. You can't say, oh my God, what an easy fight. I could have taken an easier route, but I didn't. No safe routes here. I'm confident, and I have the skills to do it."
He should find a replacement if he doesn't win, but I'm sure he will. I mean, I think this is a touch-em-up fight.
Fans were hoping to see Ryan Garcia take on Isaac. Pitbull Cruz, as it would have been a far more exciting matchup than Romero getting the nod. It's unclear if other fighters were available to step in, but the 140-pound division is stacked with talent, and many would have been better options than Romero. Rolando Romero is far from an ideal opponent for Garcia, especially considering he was knocked out by Pitbull Cruz in the 8th round last year, on March 30th. Many see him as a bargain bin fighter with limited ability and knee, who doesn't belong in the main event of Turki Al-Alshik's card on May 2nd, especially against a superstar like Ryan Garcia.
Trying to see where he was guiding me, and he just led me to Dallas, led me to Derek, and I pursued it, and I'm here now, and I feel good. I feel,
On the other hand, Isaac Pitbull Cruz has maintained the same stance he took immediately after his victory over Rolando Rolly Romero last year. That win instantly put Cruz on the radar for major fights and million-dollar paydays in Las Vegas, including a long-awaited challenge from Ryan Garcia. Cruz became the WBA super lightweight champion after stopping Romero with an undeniable technical knockout. In response, Garcia wasted no time taunting Cruz, suggesting their fight wouldn't be much of a contest. However, Cruz didn't back down. He accepted the challenge, making it clear he's ready for the showdown.
Good luck, man.
Thank you, bro. Later.
So, if you win, you get the rematch that everybody wants, Ryan?
Yeah.
That's for sure, too?
Yeah, when I win...
At the post-fight press conference, Isaac Pitbull Cruz responded to Ryan Garcia's remarks with a firm statement, assuring fans that he doesn't back down from any fight as long as the money is right. "I do not refuse to fight anyone. As long as there's a good agreement between the companies and handlers, I'll fight whoever, wherever," Cruz said. Rolando Romero, meanwhile, was left badly beaten and humiliated by a dominant Cruz, who put on a brilliant performance. With that victory, Cruz sent a warning to anyone daring to step in the ring with him.
En primer punto que su empresa y mi empresa lleguen a un gran acuerdo y yo peleo con quien sea.
Bring anybody on, I'm willing, like I've always said.
"I think I proved that you better respect a pit bull because whoever calls him a chihuahua is going to see exactly how they'll end up just like Rolando tonight," Cruz said, clearly aiming his words at Ryan Garcia's challenge. Garcia, on the other hand, didn't hold back in his response. He mocked Cruz's ability, saying, "You don't know boxing if you really think Pitbull Cruz would beat me. I've faced so many fighters like him in my life, it would be a field day."
I'm willing to fight anybody as long as both parties come to an agreement. If his side comes to an agreement with my side and everything works out, then I have no problem fighting with him or anyone else.
Isaac Pitbull Cruz wasn't impressed by Ryan Garcia's entertaining 3 knockdown victory over the previously undefeated Devin Haney last year. Instead, the WBA 140-pound champion focused on Garcia's failure to make weight, blowing past the limit by 3.2 pounds at the weigh-in. Labeling Garcia as frivolous and unserious, Cruz remarked, "Ryan Garcia doesn't take things seriously." Cruz made these comments while in Manhattan, New York on Wednesday, where he formally announced his upcoming fight against Jose Valenzuela for his WBA title on August 3rd in Los Angeles. The bout will be part of a stacked card headlined by Terrence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. Even when he comes to the weigh-in, he's overweight by 3 pounds. Cruz told a group of reporters following the press conference.
Pues igual, a mí no me importa la carrera de los demás, yo me enfoco en lo mío y yo me estoy preparando para conseguir.
He doesn't take anything seriously. He needs to be more focused on training and more serious, Cruz stated, doubling down on his criticism of Garcia. Garcia called out Cruz after his win over Haney, but Cruz wasn't surprised. "It's not the first time he's said it. He's mentioned wanting to fight me many times. I'm ready, and I want to fight him," Cruz added. The popular Mexican slugger is coming off a dominant performance, battering Rolando Rolly Romero for an 8th-round technical knockout last month to claim the WBA super lightweight title. Meanwhile, his next opponent, Jose Valenzuela, made a statement of his own with a highlight reel 6th-round knockout over Chris Colbert in their December rematch.
Funny that these guys are gonna say yeah, so that's what I think.
Now, you're going to take over Times Square in New York.
Yeah.
The entire world looks it's never been done before.
Yeah.
Whatever trick he does is massive. Tell me your feelings when he came up with that idea. And
There have been rumblings that Isaac Pitbull Cruz could face Gervonta Tank Davis later this year in a rematch of their thrilling 2021 bout, where Davis edged out a close decision victory. If Cruz gets past Jose Valenzuela, he's open to that fight and other big opportunities. "I'm ready to fight anyone," Cruz said. "I'll listen to my team, and we'll make the best decision." However, taking on Cruz is a major risk for Ryan Garcia. A loss to the hard-hitting Mexican would seriously hurt his chances of securing a rematch with Gervonta Davis, a fight Garcia has been chasing since his knockout defeat in 2023.
I think everybody could watch whoever's there, so that's pretty cool.
now, a Pitbull, very dangerous fight. You actually posted today that he's going to be tougher than a rematch with Haney, and I agree with you.
Yeah,
Why did
I
you
mean
say
tougher as in...
Ryan Garcia has openly admitted that his primary goal is to face Gervonta Tank Davis again, this time at 140 pounds. He believes he wasn't at his best in their first encounter, citing the 136-pound catchweight and 10-pound rehydration clause as factors that left him weight drained. With that said, many believe there are more deserving contenders in the top 15 rankings at 140 and 147 pounds who should be fighting Garcia on May 2nd instead of Rolando "Rolly" Romero.
That you did take more punches than you thought you would, so what went wrong during this fight? It's okay.
It seems like the promoters were in a rush to find an opponent, and Rolando "Rolly" Romero simply filled the slot. Given that this is a pay-per-view event, a better matchup would have been Ryan Garcia versus Jose Ramirez in the main event, while Devin Haney could have faced Romero in the co-feature. Even in that spot, Romero wouldn't be the ideal opponent. But considering Haney is coming off a 3-knockdown loss, he could use a softer touch like Rolly to avoid another rough night in the ring.
Well, I would love to know, I saw that Ryan Garcia posted yesterday, if he was kind of questioning your decision of choosing to fight Cruz when he said you could have made more with him. Tell me a little bit about how you...
However, if the goal is to make sure Ryan Garcia doesn't lose ahead of his planned rematch with Devin Haney in October, then Rolando "Rolly" Romero is the right opponent. He isn't a serious threat to Garcia and will likely get knocked out within 6 rounds. Dan Rafael reports that the Garcia versus Romero, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, and Frank Martin versus Keyshawn Davis card will take place on Friday, May 2nd in Times Square, New York City. While hosting such a major event on a Friday is unusual, fans won't mind since the card is stacked with high-profile matchups. Talks of a potential Garcia versus Romero fight first gained traction after Garcia delivered a stunning knockout of Oscar Duarte at a 143-pound catchweight in Houston, Texas.
would respond to that?
I'm with Al Heyman. Ryan Garcia's biggest fight was with Al Heyman. The most money he ever made was with Al Heyman. And then he goes back and fights for crumbs on a shitty TV network.
However, it didn't take long for King Rai to start working on his next fight, as he called out and took shots at WBA junior welterweight champion Rolando "Rolly" Romero. "I'm committing to becoming a world champion," Garcia told DAZN's Chris Mannix after his 8th-round knockout of Oscar Duarte. "If Rolly wants that, bring it on. Rolly, I know you talk a lot. Let's get that going." He continued, "Rolly, where are you at? You got beat up by that old dude. We know what happened. Don't try to fake it." The highly anticipated Ring magazine card set to take place in Times Square, New York, has been officially confirmed for Friday, May the 2nd. The event will feature 3 major bouts: Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero, Devin Haney versus Jose Carlos Ramirez, and Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barbosa. According to the press release, Times Square will be transformed into a world-class boxing venue for the first time ever. The event will be branded Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, a nod to the April 24th release of the video game. The first bout of the night will see Teofimo Lopez, 21-1, defend his WBO junior welterweight title against Arnold Barbosa, who is coming off a victory over Jack Catterall in an eliminator. At welterweight, Devin Haney, 31-1, will take on Jose Carlos Ramirez, 29-2, in a bout where Haney is expected to be the favorite. If Haney secures the victory, the hope is that Ryan Garcia, 24-1, will do the same in the main event against Rolando Romero, 16-2. The long-term plan is to set up a highly anticipated rematch between Haney and Garcia later in the year. Their first encounter in April 2024 ended in controversy when Garcia, despite scoring 3 knockdowns and winning by decision, had his victory overturned due to testing positive for the banned substance ostarine. This led to a no-contest ruling and a year-long suspension by the New York State Athletic Commission. Details on the broadcaster remain unknown, but according to the press release, boxing fans worldwide will be able to watch this monumental event via pay-per-view, ensuring that the action reaches audiences far beyond Times Square. Ryan Garcia's next fight against Rolando "Rolly" Romero had recently been met with speculation due to the lack of concrete details. However, Ring Magazine has now confirmed major details, including the date, location, and the full fight card. Garcia and Romero will square off on May 2nd, 2025 in Times Square, New York, a historic setting for what is expected to be one of the most spectacular events in sports history. The iconic location is set to be transformed into a world-class boxing venue, potentially surpassing even the immersive experience of the Sphere in Las Vegas. The co-main event of the night will feature Devin Haney versus Jose Carlos Ramirez, marking Haney's long-awaited return to the ring after more than a year since his controversial bout with Garcia in April 2024. It's now official. Turki Al-Sheikh has confirmed that Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney 2 is set to take place later in 2025. While Garcia's expulsion from the WBC may complicate his path to becoming a world champion, his upcoming fight against Rolando "Rolly" Romero on May 2nd in Times Square is set to be a major event. With Haney making his return against Jose Carlos Ramirez and Teofimo Lopez defending his WBO title against Arnold Barbosa, this stacked card is shaping up to be one of the biggest nights in boxing. For the latest updates on news, moments, events, and all the action in the world of boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our high-quality content. Until next time for more updates.